Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of Moggycraft Season 2, and last time we built this temple over here that houses the end portal. And yes, I still very much love this place. I haven't made a single change, and unless you guys come up with suggestions for change, I am going to leave it just like this because I am absolutely in love with this place. And yeah, it's a very different style than what I've done before. And yes, I have done a lot of natural builds before, but never a temple with like statues and such. So this is very pleasing to look at for me. And since last episode, we have gained a few new subscribers, so thank you all very much. And there was one person who subscribed who also commented, so I have added them to the fan base over here. Clarm the Killer, welcome to the fan base. Let me know how to customize your armor stand and your Minecraft username so I can put your head on display there. For those of you who don't know the fan base, it is a place where I like to put you up on display as a way to say thank you for subscribing and supporting my channel. And with it being a new day, we enter a new episode with a new challenge. What is it going to be this time? It is going to be the Wither Skeleton Farm. Yes, and I already knew this was going to come out because I have removed everything else. Yeah, everything else is in here currently. I really wanted to get started on this Wither Skeleton Farm. I really wanted to get started on this Wither Skeleton Farm because we have done a lot of building in the past few episodes. You see the UFO over there, the tree over there, the entire west side over here at my base, and of course the end. So we have done a lot of building, and I kinda wanted to avoid making more big builds. Although this one is probably going to be quite big too. And yeah, I know I should do more base building, but I think that can wait. So here we are in the Nether. It might not look like the Nether, but yes, this is indeed the Nether hub that we have here on the server. And over here through this tunnel and to the left, we have a fortress. Now, we have been using this place quite a lot in the past to farm wither skeletons, but of course there's no real mechanic to automatically do this, and it is still pretty dangerous. As you can see, places are shooting at me. I do like to put my chestplate on whenever I'm here and make sure that these guys die and drop their skulls. However, these guys are always a little bit of a troublemaker, especially with the amount of fire they produce. But let's just hope that is going to end today, because I want to build a nice little area where we can easily farm these safely. And yeah, it's probably going to look very similar to the one in Season 1. And right now we have quite a big area, and I do think that I will make it smaller just so that we have a shorter area to work with when it comes to flying machines. Imagine those guys would have to make their way all the way over there, and that is going to take a long time, of course. So maybe it is a good idea to make the platform itself somewhat smaller. So I would say let's start off with an area that we want to work with. And for that, I did bring a couple of shulker boxes. Let's actually just go into a safe area, and this is currently not safe because there's a wither skeleton here. Now it should be safe. Alright. But here you can see that I have some oak leaves, and I want to use these to indicate how big the platform is going to be. And I do want to kind of base that on where the structure itself is, as well as chunks. So let's turn on the chunk border, and immediately I am thinking that this is a good starting point. So let's go to the corner here. And let's just make a bit of an area. There's a blaze in the distance there. And I think this will be the final chunk. Alright, so we do have, I think, 3 chunks. Let's see, 1, 2, 3. And yes, so it's going to be 3 chunks in that direction. Now let's see how far I'm going to bring it over here. You know, sometimes I am a little bit of an idiot, like for not using a fire resist potion here. But at the same time, well, I do have technically an infinite amount of these at this point. I still kinda just refuse to use them unless I fall into lava. Because these blazes, they might be annoying, but it's not like they are that deadly. As long as I don't forget to eat once in a while, I'm honestly quite fine. Now what I will say is that if you do decide to make a farm like this with leaves, make sure that your fire tick is turned off. Because yes, on the server we don't use fire tick just so we could have some nice builds. But if you do have it turned on and fires can spread, then make sure that you do this out of either obsidian, glazed terracotta, or any block that won't burn up and also won't be movable by pistons and slime blocks. And look at that, 4 wither skeleton skulls. The next step is going to be quite annoying, and that is removing most of this nether fortress and everything that's underneath this platform. Yeah, that is going to be a tough one. But it's not going to be too bad, I hope. Now, this doesn't look good. I am keeping this in. I think what I'll have is maybe a walkway 3 blocks wide. Yep. Just so that in case I need to do stuff over here, I can easily get to it with no issues. I also want to point out that we do have a blaze farm that is right over here. And I do want it to be accessible for now, but when this farm is done, I honestly probably won't care that much. Because, well, this farm is also gonna help us with blazes, of course. Really? Did I just get 2 widow skeleton skulls? Very nice. And while still a lot of mining needs to be done, what I'm thinking is immediately spawn proving the 3 wide area with some buttons. So let's just craft a whole lot of them and start placing. And this is not the only place we'll do it. We'll actually do it in other places too, where we don't want any of the mobs to spawn. But first, I think this is the place where I'm going to do it. Just to make sure my life is going to be a little bit easier when I get to certain other parts of this project. So, a lot has been done. As you can see, many buttons have been placed down, the entire underside has been dug out, and I've also done some digging over here, for example, just to clear things up. And you can see that spawns are already going pretty crazy. Now, you probably also noticed that there is a hole in the platform over there, and that is where the mobs are going to fall down. And let's actually do that next. So we might be getting shot at by blazes, wither skeletons may fall down on us, but this is where we need to do the next line of work. And you can see they are already getting a little bit angry at me, which, well, as long as I can stay out of their line of sight, is going to be fine. But we have to do the same thing with the leaves over here now. And after that we need to make a platform as well. But that is going to be a bit of a challenge for now. So I think what I need to do is actually put in a platform first. Now the nice thing is I can just place them on these buttons, as you can see. But I will need to get up there and also make sure that I don't get shot at by these blazes. Yeah, that is going to be a little bit of a challenge. I'm just gonna start placing blocks out. I'm on fire again. Maybe actually just, you know, take off the elytra, put on a chest plate. I'll actually put the elytra over here just in case I need to switch to it at one point. And with this in place, we can now get started on the flying machines. And yeah, this is going to be a little bit tough with blazes here, but nothing a few arrows can fix. There we go. And we do need to... Let's finish that guy. Of course, you have to interfere. Anyway, let's just get started. We have to make sure that we do have obsidian with us as well. And let's do a bit of counting. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's do it over here. This should have 5 in between. Yes, okay. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, that should be 10. But this would make it so the machines are evenly spread. And let's just get started on the actual flying machines. Now we do have to make it one higher because this is where the flying machines are going to be. Let's start off with the pistons and the slime blocks. Then what we can do is have a temporary block over here and here. And boom, boom. And these are what are going to allow the flying machines to go. Now what I'll do is have, okay, just a temporary obsidian block over there. And let's test it out, shall we? So, okay, I'll just use a leaf block. There we go. And there it goes. Now it should stop over there. Yes. And when we activate this one, it goes back. Perfect. Then what we'll have is a couple of slime blocks. And here what we need to make sure of is that it has like a glass block maybe. I'll just use that one for now. I'll also add one over here. And that should do it. So now if it goes... Oh, there we go. Okay, so apparently my connection is, despite the game lying to me, a little bit on the bad side. However, I forgive it. And with that, we can now put in the next one over here. Oh, yeah, now the game is not lying to me anymore. Now it's showing the real connection that I'm having. Yeah, that was gonna happen at one point, isn't it? Of course. And I spawn on top of Cappy. Alright. Well, let's see if I can make my way down without dying. I can't. But fortunately, I spawned in a good place this time. Always carry an emergency totem. Yeah, I don't care how many totems I have. I'm not gonna beat that guy in that condition. Let's just grab as many things as I can. And hope it's going to be enough to defeat this guy. Okay, well here's a nice trick that I can do that they can't. Boom. Okay. And there we go. Of course you're gonna hit me with the thorns, but I am better. Ha ha ha. You are so lucky that I have this. So I was actually very lucky with that zombified piglin, because if my netherite axe wasn't enough to kill him in one hit, all of the other guys would have gone after me, which you know, I could see 2. Yeah, 1 and 2. So it isn't a lot, but it would be annoying if it happened twice. You know, the meme, haha. Next up, we actually need to put in the system for the flying machine to start going, and also for us to be able to pause them. And that is going to happen right over here. So what I want to do is grab this obsidian, put it over here, and we need one of these observers that faces into the obsidian. That way we can detect that the flying machine is over here. And now we just need to place down a couple of blocks. And for that I actually want to use some different blocks other than these. And I think these stone bricks will do. Now let's see. What I'm going to need is for this flying machine to actually go over here real quick. That way it will be much easier for me to see exactly how far I need to put things away. And let's put back the elytra, fly under here, remove this obsidian. Okay, now we can activate it. Going in that direction, it should stop. Yes, it does good. Ow, stupid blaze. Let's put the piston over here. That way it will push itself in front of the observer. But also it allows me to put redstone over here. And it's going to be very simple redstone. It's just going to be one repeater on max delay. And over here we need some redstone dust, which is very easy. Boom, just like this. And now if we give this an update, it should start flying. And speaking of flying, fireballs are flying at my face. Let's just quickly send it. Alright, and let's send it back, and it should automatically come back here as well. Let's see if it does it. Yes, it does. Very, very good. Now we just need to copy this design to all the other places where we have the flying machines. Okay, go. And you go. And you go. Now all of them should get stuck on these obsidian pillars, which they do indeed. Now I'm wondering, I'm going to check if I am able to make this over there above the gap, and if I would be able to do that for both sides, because then what we could have is these flying machines constantly going back and forth and not needing to go all the way to the other side. Now this should work. If I just remove this, it should start flying. And let's see what happens when it comes back. And let's also see what happens to these guys over here, the magma cube and the piglin. And okay, that is indeed looking very good. Back at my base right now, and I wanted to make more observers, so I needed to gather some quartz, for which I wanted to grab my fortune-free pickaxe, which I couldn't find. Then I remembered something. I accidentally put it in the system a while ago. Yeah, that wasn't smart. But when it didn't come through, I started to have a bad feeling. Now, that bad feeling feels justified, because this is the cobblestone storage. And as you can see, it's more than just cobblestone, including my pickaxe, which I mentioned, but also a whole lot of other stuff. And I have no idea what happened, why this happened, but unfortunately it did happen. Now, it looks like the filter broke somehow, which I have no idea why, but all I care about right now is fixing it, which is not difficult. However, the fact that this happened worries me. And Yeah, let's just put that there. And fortunately, this one doesn't seem broken, but I am going to have to get rid of all these random items and just let them go through the entire system again. That's gonna be so painful. Back in the nether, and I have put in a lot of flying machines. So let's just take a fly. And you can see that all the flying machines at the top are in. But if we go down below here, you'll also notice that there's two flying machines over here. So one there and one over there. Same thing going on in the middle as up top. And then over here we have this extra one flying machine that pushes all the mobs into this killing area. Now the only thing we need to do is link everything up, and yeah, I don't have things anymore, arrows, so that was just, you know, a real quick drive-by kill from me. Let's immediately get out, there we go. And yeah, I also still need to patch up that little hole over there, but as you can see, a lot of mobs are spawning in this area, and I haven't even gotten to this area yet with spawn proving. I have ideas for it, but I am not going to go into that just quite yet. What I want to do next is, you've probably seen the blue wool, is link everything up. The line of redstone is in place, which means this should now be fully functional. Let's go to the bottom over here and hit that lever, and this should send out all the flying machines. Let's go take a look. Yes, there they go. You can see the ones on the top, the ones in the middle, and the ones at the bottom, or the one at the bottom, are all going. Let's see, there's already one wither skeleton in here, but let's just see what happens in just a moment. There's a second, and hopefully soon enough it will rain down. Yep, okay. Zombified piglin. 4 wither skeletons in total right now. Okay, more piglins it sounds like. And more wither skeletons? I am not entirely sure. No blazes so far. But there's some extra stuff that we still need to do up top. So I'm just going to turn this off for now. And what we need to do is make sure that nothing spawns on top of... That could have gone very, very wrong. Yeah, that went wrong. Let's just take out that guy first. And we skip 2 blocks, then break 1, skip 2 blocks, break 1, skip 2 blocks, break 1. And that's where we place down the nether brick walls, just like so. And that should prevent all of the magma cubes from spawning, as long as we do it over here as well, and all throughout this farm. Well, that looks done. And as you can see, this has been lifted up a little, just so that, yep, that still happens, just so that no mobs will go on top of there. You can see wither skeletons spawning, piglins, blazes shooting at me already. Let's just go down below and turn this thing on once more, just to get it into action and get those skulls. Now, the one thing that I will say is that this farm is not as efficient as it could be. And that's because, well, for example, that magma cube over there behind me, hi, they can still spawn literally everywhere else. Ideally, I would make sure that no mobs could spawn anywhere nearby. And it is starting to sound really, really good, as you can hear. Yeah, a lot is falling down, and I don't care about them getting angry at me. I just need them all to die. And while some areas like this have been buttoned up, there is still ways for me to... Did I actually kill that guy? Looks like I did. there's still ways for me to improve spawns. For example, also buttoning up this little area over here. Maybe adding some buttons over here, over there. Or I would need to remove all of that. Yep. If there are no blocks there, there's nothing for them to spawn on. Maybe we'll do that in the next episode. So with blazes shooting at my face, I'm going to end the episode right here. And I hope you guys have enjoyed. And I don't always say this, but like, consider liking, subscribing, maybe leaving a comment. It would really help out the channel. Anyway, thanks for that. Thanks for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.